What you were describing is exactly what, everybody goes through when they're evolving and becoming. And so the way I describe it to people is like the changing of the seasons. So there's never a clean break from winter into summer. You always have spring, right? So you go from winter to spring, from spring to summer, summer to fall, fall to winter. It's never a clean break. It's not like one day it's summer and the next day it's winter all of a sudden. And so the changing of the seasons, there's a transition, and there's an evolution, and there's a becoming, just like everyone. So there's always a little bit of winter in spring, and there's always a little bit of spring in summer, and there's always a little bit of summer in fall, and so forth. And so what happens as you're evolving, the reason that you're the person you are today is because of the people you surround yourself with, the things that you believe, your belief systems. That's why you have the results of today. And so you've created an environment very similar to anybody with some level of addiction. They've created the supporting environment that supports that type of behavior. And often it's like, you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So because your current life and your current results are based on all of those circumstances, that environment, when you transition into the next season of your life, there's always going to be residual components of your past life that will come and haunt you in your new life. I call them demons, right? Those demons from your past life will come and try to pull you back. For example, you're trying to lose weight, and maybe you've created an environment that supports your overeating, for example. And you're trying to make a transition into healthy eating and maybe living a healthier lifestyle. But the demons of the past will come and haunt you to make sure that you're really on the path to whatever it is that you're trying to achieve. So maybe an old friend will call you, hey, let's go for a pizza. Remember the pizza parties that we're going to have? Or when someone's trying to quit drinking, and all of a sudden they show up to the party and they're like, oh, so what do you want? What can I get you? Oh, just the water. And people will say, what? What happened? Right? And so you always have to be careful of the demons of your past coming to your new season of life and pulling you back into the old season. And so this is now the transition from season to season. Once you can get past, once you get past spring and now you're into summer, now you've stepped into yourself, and now you're in a completely new season. Maybe there's hints of spring in that new season, but it won't be the same as spring, where in May we could still see a snowstorm, for example. So there's going to be like evidence of winter in spring. But once you go from spring to summer, you may see some evidence of spring, but you won't see evidence of winter because you've made that transition. You've gone through multiple different phases. So the gap between you and the old environment, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. The gap between you and your old friends, the gap between you and the mindset that you used to have or the way you used to think, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger as you transition into the new season. So anytime you're going to make a change in your life, the way you got to look at it is, it's like the changing of the seasons, and you got to be careful for those demons because they'll try to pull you back, and you'll easily go back to the old season. So that's what I